Hi, I want to share a healing I had with you. It had been around 2000, the winter of 2010. And I was working in West Virginia, and I was working the night shift. And right about 4:30, I took my hour break, and I actually lived on a golf course, and which was maybe 4 miles from where I worked. And so I stopped and grabbed some Taco Bell, went out to where I lived on the golf course, sat there, and I think I studied a little bit of the Word, and I was studying a lot at the time, and I ate my my Taco Bell food, pretty good with that mild sauce. And so I was coming back, and it was right when it was getting dark, about 5:30-ish. And so I was heading up over a bridge, and I peeked down on the other side of the bridge, and I noticed that the cars in front of me, right about dark, it started to get cold too, right about freezing. And it had been misty rain throughout the day. And the cars in front of me, the one car in front of me they had hit their brakes on black ice, and they started spinning around. And so I'm probably, a good maybe 30 yards from them. And so I tapped my brakes, just kind of tap them, and I knew I was on black ice. And I was like, oh gosh, And so I just kind of stayed in my lane, and they had locked it up. And there was cars coming up the hill. And so I just stayed right here. I couldn't really lean over. I tried to lean a little bit to the right, but I couldn't really do anything except stay in my lane because of right on black ice. And so when I got up to the car, they had turned, I don't know, several times, but their right front clipped my left front almost completely. They had almost, but they were in my lane, so they had turned. And right front clipped my left front and knocked me over and I'm probably going 40 miles an hour down the hill. And they knocked me over in the other lane, and I hit this, an older SUV, a long extended 4-door SUV. And it knocked me over there, and I hit the front end head on. And right before impact, I knew it was going to happen. And actually, I didn't have my seatbelt on. Right before impact, I'd done everything I possibly could. I threw my hands up in the air, and I said, Jesus! And that airbag came out. And so I was actually wedged up against the concrete block on a bridge. So if, very easily I could have gone through that concrete block and gone over, and wouldn't be here to tell you this, what happened. So I remember opening my door, and I was up against that block, so I could barely get it open. And when I took a step out, I about fell because I was on black ice. And I finally got out and held myself, and I looked, and here comes other cars down. And I was like, Jesus, and thank God they kind of missed me. So I swear within a minute or two, the cops were there, fire ambulance was there. This all happened so fast. And they had blocked the road off from both sides. And so I remember one of the officers I knew, he just happened to be there on the scene, and we were friends. Teach him how to play golf. And so he asked me if I was okay. Well, my left knee was really sore, and I had banged up against underneath the steering column. My left knee had hit. Let me back up just a minute. I hit so hard. I had a bracelet on my left, my left wrist. I just remember this now. And apparently that bracelet had split, not came apart from the latch, but had split in two, where it's not supposed to split. It's the most solid piece, and it had fallen down. And it was a magnetic bracelet. It was real popular at the time to wear those. And so I remember the ambulance, and I found it. It was down here by the passenger seat, and so I just felt like the Holy Spirit keep that as a remembrance, So I got in the ambulance, and the people that I had hit head on, they were in the ambulance too. And so we're on this, like a bench in the ambulance. And they asked me, are you okay? And my left knee was really sore. And I swear there was like a voice on my left shoulder and a voice on my right shoulder. One said, oh no, tell them you're not okay. And, and go to the hospital and sue for insurance money. And the next voice says, no, the Lord healed you and you're fine. So I said, no. I said, no, I'm fine. I said that my left knee's a little sore, but other than that, I'm perfectly fine. You don't need to go to the hospital. No, I don't need to go to the hospital. No, I'm fine. Okay. They asked the people right next to me, and they said they were fine too. Well, the next day, I contacted work. Hey, I was in an accident, and they said I'll take the rest of the evening off, and so the officer drove me back out to where I was living on the golf course and dropped me off, and I had to spend the next morning, getting a rental car and everything, my insurance took care of that. And I swear, if it was a couple days later, the insurance gets a hold of me, and they said, the people you hit, they're in the hospital now, and they're not doing good, and they're suing, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, they were in the ambulance. Everything was fine. I taught, whatever, if that's, whatever. So I just gave that to the Lord too. Well, the next night after the accident, I got my rental car and everything. And a good friend of mine, we played racquetball together all the time, especially in the wintertime in West Virginia. We go to the Y, and we went at it hard. We played serious racquetball. Great exercise. And so when I woke up that next morning, I had to get there was like a knot that came up on the outside of my left side of my knee. I mean, it really stood out. So, but again, I knew that it would go away. The Lord healed it. And I knew it was just an attack. And when we get to the YMCA that evening, even though it was still a little bit sore and had that big knot on it, I had shorts on. Everybody saw, what's wrong with your knee? What's wrong with your knee? And I told them about the accident, and you need to go to the doctor. You need to go to the doctor. You need to get it drained. I said, no, the Lord took care of this. He'll heal this. Woke up the next morning, it was completely gone. Soreness and everything, and that little knot just completely went away. Well, I hope this could be a help, and have a great day.